So you want to play Bannerlord but keep getting dumpstered by GigaChat looters? Well, you're in luck. Introducing How to Bannerlord.
No! You picked the wrong house, fool!
You've got mail.
Bannerlord is a medieval strategy action open world RPG. Wow, that's a lot of stuff, and it's the successor to the critically acclaimed cow herding simulator Mountain Blade Warband, a game that was released more than a decade ago. God, I'm old. Made by the Turkish developers Tailwords Entertainment. It throws you into the golden age that was the medieval period when people typically died at the ripe old age of 35. You assemble a mercenary band and head out onto this beautiful world. You can raid, trade, and of course play board games.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
This game is pretty big and, well, where do you even begin? Where's King Hollis? How wood become coal? Where Mommy Regaea? Don't worry, I'm here today to answer all these things. In this guide, I'll take you from the depths of simping to Regaea to the heaven Jeremus intended for us all. Welcome to Calradia. No, not that Calradia, this Calradia. The Calradia she tells you not to worry about. Look, it's a big fucking map. This is where Bannerlord takes place, and it is firmly set in the Middle Ages, specifically the early medieval period, a period that began when the Western Roman Empire had an unfortunate accident. Now, the early medieval age is typically called the Dark Ages. No, not because someone turned out the light, it is because it was unbelievably shit to live in. You got a cough, boom, you're dead. Got a fever, boom, dead. Got the shits, guess what, boom, dead. And that's just the disease part. Your village could be raided, forcing you to fight a roided up sea raider with nothing but a butter knife. And wow, look at that, you're dead again. At least he made your skull into a neat drinking vessel. Calradia is home to many different cultures and kingdoms. First, we have the Vlandians. They have a Norman vibe going on, which sadly mean they are the Frenchmen of Bannerlord. They love butter, crossbows, butter, cavalry, butter, and of course more butter. They would typically destroy everyone and everything when the Vlandians declare war. The boss music kicks in. The Sturgeons, the Snow Slavs, heavily influenced by the Kievan Rus and the Varangians. Now, the glaring problem with the Sturgeons, other than their name rhyming with virgins, is they suck. A particular stiff breeze will destroy any Sturgeon army. But on the bright side, all Sturgeons rock that Gobnik style. The Calradic Empire, or just the Empire, a shell of its former glory, split into a three-way civil war. They are basically the Eastern Roman Empire, forced to pick up the pieces after the West implosion. Now, there are only two kinds of Empire players: the delinquent Romabu, who desperately wants to create the Empire and post it on Reddit for massive karma gains, and lastly, the Regaea simp. A countless number of Bannerlord players have fallen prey to her feminine charm, and worst of all, she isn't even marryable. That hasn't stopped the horny Bannerlord community though. The Aserai. Who? Oh, right, the desert people. They're heavily influenced by Arabic culture, but nobody plays them because they aren't cool, or have the pure dommy-mommy energy of Regaea. They're hidden at the bottom of the map, like the subs they really are. The Crusade, Mongolian throat singing and two hot mares. Wow, looks like you've got yourself a Crusade threesome on your hands. They are Turkic and Mongolian inspired, the bronies of Bannerlord. They are absolute beasts on any battlefield, until they meet walls. They haven't really invented the concept of walls yet, just to give them time, they'll get there. And lastly, the Batanians. They are considered the absolute chance of Bannerlord. Horses? No. How about a good and balanced unit roster? No. Big swords and bows. They are pretty much just Celts, and as we know, the Celts didn't do too well against the Romans, and it really shows in Bannerlord. They almost always die first, trapped between the walking death machine that is the Vlandians and the Romabus. They never really stood a chance. Now that we've set the scene, what do you actually do in Bannerlord? You start as a nobody with no friends. Wow, art imitates life, huh? You have to advance your character through either raiding, exploring, fighting, or god forbid, trading. You'll advance through the stages of Bannerlord from a weakling who's never touched grass to a noble who leads huge armies on the battlefield. First, you have to create your meat sack. It can range from pretty normal to a creature from the Shadow Realm. Then you pick a culture. These bonuses don't really matter that much. It's only really if you're a sweaty, dirty tryhard they actually begin to matter. There are 6 different attributes: vigor, control, endurance, cunning, social, and intelligence. Each has a set of skills attached to it. Social has charm, leadership, and trade, and so on. Each skill has a learning limit or debuff, which can be raised with either a focus point or a point in the parent attribute, because it's kind of hard to level engineering when you have an intelligence of 1 and can't count. Along the skills are perks in which you can specialize your character. Perks are very powerful and can take your character from 0 to hero in no time. You start here in the middle of the Empire, and as you'll quickly find out, the world is a pretty scary place.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boy.
So if you don't want to be a pussy hole that's gonna get clapped by the first looter that spots you, you need to get some boys. Head over to a local village and get some men. But you'll also need to pay and feed these little babies. That gets us to money. There are a lot of different ways of attaining gold, like going to tournaments in cities, and if you beat up all the other homeless people, you can even get a free item. That leads us on to supply and demand, baby. It is real and items will fluctuate in value. Use it to your advantage. But the best way to get rich quick is to become a mercenary for one of the kingdoms and begin raiding. After all, why shouldn't I burn the world to the ground and take free shit from defenseless people? Most actions like fighting or doing quests will grant renown. Now, renown is very important since it gatekeeps clan tiers. You start at clan tier 0 and through the different ranks can unlock more stuff like companions or bigger party sizes. Companions can have different skills that can complement your own ineptitude. If you don't want to level medicine, you can hire a companion who's got medical skill. However, most of the time, level 1 companions start out really bad and they will need better equipment and levels to actually become worthwhile. Now, speed, no, not the drug, the speed of your party. If you're fat and full of stuff, you're gonna be really fucking slow. If you're carrying more than you can, well, lose weight, fatty, or buy more pack animals for unlimited carry weight. Getting perks in scouting will increase your overall speed. Your speed is also affected by the composition of the troops in your army. Infantry and archer virgins compare nothing to the speed of the Chad horsemen. If you have rideable horses in your inventory for the soldiers on foot, you can offset this speed penalty. However, having more horses than footmen will incur a herd penalty. So go on, catch those slippery looters and show them a lesson and you're dead. While your body's still warm, I'm going to segue into combat.
Stand and deliver.
Now, combat is split in two, battles and personal combat. Battles are between armies, and personal combat is just between two average British lads on the streets of London.
I live in a shithole!
Now, the fighting system is pretty much Ozu. You attack and block with the mouse direction. If opponent swings left, you block left. Pretty easy, right?
Trash.
Let me introduce feinting. Some of the higher skilled AIs can fuck you up. There's an unbelievable amount of weapons, armor, so you can truly get the sickest drip in all of Calradia. And of course, each weapon might do more damage to shields or armor compared to others. If you stab someone in the internal organs with a sword, they're pretty much fucked and will be counted as dead. Whereas if you hit them in the head with a mace, they might only be knocked unconscious, albeit they are most likely brain dead or at least have suffered crippling brain damage. If knocked unconscious, they can be taken as prisoners and sold off to definitely not slavery.cm. Bannerlord also has a physics-based damage system, so if you're riding on a horse at full speed and throw a javelin per Newton's first and second law, that bad boy is going to be traveling with a lot of force, and anything it hits is going to be fucking deleted. This entire system is very thick, and I haven't even talked about chamber blocking yet, so on the surface very simple but very hard to master. Now onto battles. You have 3 different troop types: infantry, archers, and cavalry. Horse archers are just delinquent cavalry but worse. Sorry Crusade bros, it's over for you. Positioning and tactics actually matter. Don't be an F1, F3 brainlet. Be better. A showcase of this is cavalry. Cavalry is very strong. They absolutely dumpster archers on any day and will always pick infantry to pieces if they are not in a formation. A thick and meaty infantry formation will always stop any cavalry charge. And yes, some of them will get a couch lance straight through the brain, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Once the cavalryman is stuck in the meat and guts of the formation, the infantry will tear them limb from limb. Teach those glorified bronies about the infantry revolution. Sadly, there are no real pikes in Bannerlord's sad tertiary noises, honestly. On a more serious note, as a history buff, it's actually really cool to see what you can do in Bannerlord with tactics. You can actually use real-life tactics like oblique order, feigned retreat, and envelopments. Hell, there's even a guy on YouTube who recreated Alexander the Great's false gap at Gargamella in Bannerlord. If that isn't cool, I don't know what is. Okay, nerdgasm over, let's get on with it. Welcome to Advanced Bannerlord. This is where boys become men. You have to speak to your first woman. I know it's truly a daunting task. Finding a wife is a top priority for an up-and-coming warlord. You have to charm them by showing your cool Warhammer miniatures, and once they have been adequately seduced, then buy them from their fathers. What? Here, have one horse in exchange for your daughter.
Shit, Negro, that's all you had to say.
They are already labeled lords, ready to either help you in your party or form a secondary party. At this point, you can also diversify your portfolio by buying workshops and forming caravans. Caravans need a companion with good trading and scouting skills, because picking a companion who knows about as much about trade as Yevgeny Prigozhin did about executing a coup d'etat isn't really good for business. Rest in pepperoni, my sweet angel. Workshops are based on the input of the local villagers, so a city with 2 iron villages would be a good spot for a smithy, and so on. Speaking of smithy, let's talk about smithing. It's one, if not the best way of making a shit ton of cash in Bannerlord. Make metal stuff and sell that shit. You can also unlock new weapon parts by smelting weapons from your inventory or completing orders. There are several tiers of materials you can use, from crude iron all the way to Damascene steel. If you use shit materials, you'll get shit blades. And I know the weeaboos out there will be like, the best steel in the world is Tamagane. Japanese steel smelted in the traditional Tatara furnace folded 10 billion times, and therefore any blade made from it can cut through modern composite armor of a Leopard 2A7. No. The endgame mechanics in Bannerlord is forming your own kingdom. That's right. Instead of simming to Regear, you can leave and form your own kingdom with blackjack and hookers. You need to either finish the starting quest or advance to clan tier 4. And now for the most important mechanic Bannerlord has, board games. Oh, you thought I was joking? No. All these great Bannerlord guides, and they all fail on delivering what we really want. Where board game. It's as simple as that, ladies and gentlemen. This perfect, no, spectacular guide by Italian Spartacus is ruined because of that age-old question. 43 minutes and 48 seconds wasted on really useful tips and tricks when it should all have been dedicated to board game. I'm here to right this wrong and finally give the people what they really want. A guide to Bannerlord board games. Wait, I don't want to fucking play this shit.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
What's up, it's me, the Mayor Man. Sorry for this video taking so long, but you know I was browsing the Genshin Impact Discord fan art section as I usually do.
Fanfiction. Alright.
Oh, this is where
Alright! When I was subsequently flashbanged by a half-naked pieman. I want some really bad art though. This is not, I mean, it's cringy, but it's not... Oh. And so I was promptly sent to jail. Also, shout out to this kind commenter who not only predicted this video before I even started making it, he also called me a sissy. He was right on both accounts. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. Anyway, more stuff is in the pipeline, so stay tuned. I'll see you around.
Someone said boo woo in chat, I'm gonna kill myself.
Oh no. People are gently patting each other. I gotta get out of here.
Hey look, in the bottom right is a way of undressing it.
No way. Oh! You were just talking about boob physics earlier.
You watch Mecha Gnome porn. You have to respond to my phone request in a week, so don't go in that guy's ass.
People ask you if you've got a job. Yeah, I've got a job. I'm a stripper in Final Fantasy.
Nice,
so basically, I'm better than both of you.
Fucking God, I love you.
There's another crystal to shove up my ass.
Stop it. Stop playing the slap mode. Oh God, stop the track.